Did you know that you can build up your tolerance for anxiety-provoking situations? That you can sort of build up the system in your body almost like a muscle so that it's ready for times that you need to calm down, become more focused, more aware? Let's talk about an easy practice you can do anywhere to strengthen up the vagus nerve today. Hi, my name is Jessica Johns-Green. I'm a licensed professional counselor here in Texas, and let's talk about this vagus nerve exercise, this practice. It's very short, and we'll break it down into a couple of different stages so that you can do maybe even just one of the stages just to yourself internally, that no one can see. You can do it anywhere. You could even do it while you're stopped at a stoplight, all the way up to activating this aspect of your nervous system, this particular nerve pathway, by touching various areas of your face. But before we get started, I just wanted to cover a little bit of how to make this work. I've used this with many of my clients, and I've seen what works and what doesn't work. So a couple of points. First of all, it's, as I said earlier, like building up a muscle. So using this technique is going to be something that will help you over time if you can make it a consistent practice. You may get some benefit if you do it as a one-off here or there, but the best results are going to come by doing it regularly, even when you don't need it, maybe even sometimes when you don't feel like it. Thinking about it like you're building up the strength of this nerve pathway in your body, this system in your body, like you would build up the strength of a muscle. You have to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Some days are going to be better than others. Some days it's going to work. Some days it's not going to work. But over time, you're going to find that its effectiveness increases. So that would be my first point, is to kind of, as much as possible, try to make it something that is regular for you. Even if you don't do it every day, maybe you do it a couple times a week and just persist in doing it over time to see the best results. The second thing is that it can feel a little bit difficult to connect with your body sometimes for some people. And hey, that's part of it too, that's valid. I don't think that you're necessarily going to be able to kind of force yourself into that connection, but to take this practice as something that with the hope and belief that you can feel better over time if you just connect little by little by little as you go. So I guess what I'm saying there is, if you feel a little bit uncomfortable doing it, that's probably normal. That makes sense. You might benefit from some curiosity as to why it makes you feel uncomfortable. Is it the state of listening to your body? Is it the state of connecting with your body that feels uncomfortable? Is it something else? And find small ways to persist. Don't look for that perfection in this practice, but simply to make it consistent, and over time you will see the benefits. So let's get into it. Very simple. It sometimes helps if you can picture where this nerve is, the vagus nerve that we're going to try to activate. If you've heard of things like resetting your nervous system, or the rest and digest part of your nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, all these kind of phrases are kind of circulating around now as people are getting more and more aware that our mental health, our physical health, they're kind of interlinked, intertwined, and we can definitely do things to help them along. So your vagus nerve, it travels quite a distance through your body. It's quite close to the surface in certain parts of our face, quite close to the surface near the belly, and it goes from the brain down, past through the heart into the stomach, affects our lungs, our breathing, and certainly over time, if you've been either in high stress for a long period of time, or even just consistently throughout your life, this nerve pathway can be chronically underused. So the vagus nerve turns on when we're calm, when our breathing is very regulated, our digestive system is able just to function normally. In times of stress, it'll kind of switch off. So the other parts of your nervous system that are about protection and safety can kind of click on. So it's sort of like one or the other. And what we're going to try and do is to purposefully stimulate this nerve, switch it on. And people talk about things, you might hear when you talk about vagus nerve, like vagal toning or something like that. All that means is, kind of like you would, again, tone a muscle. We're going to try to turn this aspect of your nervous system to the on position more and more frequently so that it's ready, it's there for you when you need it. So the first step is, wherever you're at, sit comfortably, even lay down, eyes open, eyes closed, doesn't matter. Let's begin to focus on your breathing. This is one of the first ways that we can start to switch this aspect of your nervous system on, is deeper breathing. So if you're somewhere that you're not nervous about being observed, or you're all by yourself, you might even put your hand on your belly and sort of connect with just the rhythm of the breathing. Just start to become aware. And we'll take a few moments together just feeling that breath. And don't put too much thought into, is it right or wrong? Am I breathing deep enough? Am I breathing correctly? Just breathe. Just breathing and just noticing. The second thing we want to do is see if we can deepen that breath. Maybe take a little bit longer with the inhale. So do your best to sort of keep your jaw and your shoulders relaxed. As we pull the breath in, let's not try and squeeze those shoulders up to our ears, but see if you can keep them down and back. Maybe the hand comes to the belly, maybe not. And see if you can pull the air deep into the belly and slowly exhale. Let the belly kind of pull in at the bottom and begin again. Pulling the air in. Imagine filling the lungs up from the bottom. And then as you exhale, empty. Now, a nice thing to picture here as you breathe in deeply is your diaphragm pulling down as you breathe in. It is allowing the lungs to expand. The diaphragm pushes down. And as you exhale, that diaphragm comes up. And the muscle of the diaphragm, this wall of muscle underneath your lungs, can actually massage the nerve itself, asking it to switch on, to come alive. So think about each breath. You can almost picture that diaphragm pulling down and then retracting back up and moving along that nerve to switch it on. You might even count for maybe 4 or 5 as you breathe in, 4 or 5 as you breathe out, slowing it, regulating it. Now in practice, you could spend quite a lot of time there, just breathing. You could spend a short period of time, just the time of like a stoplight or something like that. Now, if you're in a space where you can do this, let's add in this stimulation. Where the nerve is quite close to the surface is around the face, the eyes, the ears. So keeping that slow, deep breathing, just take a finger and just really gently start to make some circles around where the eyebrow meets the nose. And just some gentle pressure there, whatever feels good. It could be circles, it could go one way, it could go the other way, it could go side to side, figure 8. Just kind of explore what feels right for you. A little bit of pressure there. And when you're ready, we'll slowly run that finger either over top or underneath the eyebrow, around the kind of brow bone to the temple, and some circle. Make a figure 8, could do something else there. And when you're ready, back again. Now you could continue with this for as long as you wish, but just for time's sake here, we could then take it underneath, kind of feel where that cheekbone is and up, and then again circle around at the temple. And you could continue whatever pattern feels right. You could do a combination of under and over the eye, spending some time on each side. You could do both hands at the same time or just alternate. Take some time on the other side now, just where the eyebrow meets the nose, up and over, round at the temple. Now, sometimes as we start to get used to the effects of this, you can actually start to feel the breath being a little bit easier, maybe slows down a little bit more easily. You may even feel a change in temperature. You feel a little bit warmer, or you can feel like your stomach is kind of working. Your vagus nerve system will allow that stomach to turn back on, your digestive system to flow more easily, because it's sending the signal to your body that things are safe, so you can more regulate temperature and digestion and all those things that we don't need to have working when we are in safety mode now can switch back on. So around the eyes as long as you wish, and then another option is to come to the ears. Just finger and thumb, just gently massage the earlobes, little squish, little wiggle, and then maybe up and around the ear. And again, you can do one at a time or both at the same time, just that little cartilagey bits, just massage. And if you have a preference, if the ear feels better, if the temples feel better, if here feels better, whatever feels good to you. You can also sort of just gently take the finger, pushing on the outside of the ear, just give a little wiggle around, not sticking it inside, but just a little wiggle around, kind of just stimulating the motion of the ear on the head. And then this little tragus, this little bit of cartilage here, you can just pinch gently between the thumb and the finger and just a little wiggle. Maybe both sides, just a little wiggle. And then when you feel like you've had enough of the facial massage, the ear massage, if you have time, just take a few moments just to breathe and just notice the difference in your body. Being okay that maybe it is a slight difference, maybe there's no difference. But as I said before, continuing with something like this is going to help that aspect of our nervous system just switch on over time, and you're going to feel those differences more and more pronounced as you go on. This aspect of your nervous system, the vagus nerve, can become more strong, more ready to support you, so that when it's time to switch off from threat mode, from safety mode, you are ready to switch back into that rest and digest mode. So I challenge you to try it, even if it's just a couple deep breaths now and again, connecting with that deep breathing, maybe imagining how that nerve is being stimulated with the muscle of your diaphragm, maybe a little massage on the face or ears now and again. And I would love to hear how you get on with it. Let's see if we can strengthen up those vagus nerves and feel more calm and connected on a regular basis.